Okay, one other quick update. It's about 18 to 20 after 6, which have been 20 after 5 in 1862. You can see how light the field is. Again, that's Fraley Field over there. There. And something that, another interesting insight that I hadn't thought about before. These men were probably firing at the average rate of about 3 rounds a minute. Because it was a pretty lively fire between them and Powell's men, and both units were green. They'd never been in combat before. I don't think Powell had ever been in combat before, and I know the Mississippians hadn't been in combat before. So there's a lot of nervousness there, a lot of adrenaline flowing. So they're firing 3 rounds a minute. Then in 30 minutes, they've expended 90 rounds. They only drew 100 rounds in Corinth when they left Corinth on the march toward Shiloh. So they held their ground here for an hour. So at some point during that time, they ran out or almost out of ammunition. So there would have had to have been a supply wagon back there. I mean, you know, there had to have been that would have come forward with Teamsters close enough to the 3rd to where they could draw ammunition again. Because when the brigade came forward at about 6 a.m., they relieved the 3rd. Now, the 3rd could have fallen back and resupplied then, but that would have left them half an hour just standing here being shot at without any ability to return fire. So I'm of the opinion that at some point, some Teamster was freaked out because they told him to take his wagon to the skirmish line, or either get close enough to where they could retrieve ammunition and bring it forward. Wood's brigade was back there about where Highway 22 is now. So, I mean, I can't see men running back and forth across that distance, bringing up cartridges. So they would have had to bring, or you know, I don't know how they got them here, maybe on a horse or a mule or in a wagon, I don't know, but they had to bring a fair supply of cartridges up, because for an hour it was only the 3rd Mississippi Battalion that was carrying on this whole work, and they had no idea how many Yankees were in front of them. So I gotta believe Hardcastle would have, I know Hardcastle would have requested resupply, and Wood would have granted the request. So somewhere in this field during the height of that battle, and this line would have been erupting with individual fire at will. Same thing over there. They probably would have had a few platoon firing volleys, but the majority of it's going to be fire at will. Both sides are green, both sides are young, the adrenaline's pumping, the heart's beating, and then you're hearing drums rolling back here because Wood's brigade is right back there in that tree line, or where that tree line is now. They're assembling. Hardy's entire corps is standing to. Back beyond that, you've got, I forget how many thousands, but thousands upon thousands of men in Bragg's corps. I think 12,000 men or something like that. And you can hear them. Drums would have been echoing all through these ravines and on these hilltops around here. And in the midst of all that, you're going to hear some Teamsters swearing and cursing and cracking a whip. And you would have been hearing the trace chains and the harnesses creaking leather and all that, and the wagon wheels tumbling. And you would have been hearing hardwood boxes of ammunition bouncing up and down in a wagon as you had had a Teamster driving that thing forward with people in the wagon, getting it up here to get the tops off the boxes and start handing out ammunition. You would have had to have something like that. That's something that people don't think about, is at any kind of battle, even today, you've got to resupply your guys to the front. You can only carry so much ammunition. And in the day and age of linear tactics, there's that big turkey. God, he's big. In the age of linear tactics, those wagons had to follow the line, which that's another aspect of this battle about where they would have resupplied. It would have been close to roads and camps, because they wouldn't have gone off through the field or without a road, or through, just raw woods. Anyway, another little insight. It's getting close to 6:30 now, which would have been 5:30 back then. So I'm going to go back to the Armada. My feet are still wet. I wanted to stay out here. I probably won't be able to do this again. And I'm going to go into the park, go around and come over to the other side of Fraley's Field and take pictures back this way. Bye-bye.